the ball in the basket. My God. Okay. I'm flustered. Let's get to it. This game had a little bit of everything in it. But the most promising thing was Caitlin Clark looking like she might be sort of getting her shot back, right? And saying to hell with it. I'm the face of this league. Let me try to get a whistle for once. Can I get a whistle?
The Indiana Fever dropped a preseason contest to the Dallas Wings, with the final score finishing at 95-80. The result was notable less for the loss itself and more for the stark contrast between Caitlin Clark's individual performance and the collective output of the rest of the roster. Clark finished with 21 points, shooting 4 of 6 from the field and 2 of 3 from three-point range, while converting 11 of 13 free throw attempts. She added 2 rebounds and 4 assists.
The refs actually heard. They heard it tonight. They heard it tonight. So, game started out rather promising. Starters on starters. The Indiana Fever were leading in at the end of the first quarter. They were leading at the end of the first quarter, and you see Dallas came out in the second quarter. How many games have we watched from Stephanie White coach team?
The first quarter alone saw her put up 14 points on 4 of 5 shooting with 2 assists, essentially single-handedly keeping the Fever afloat during the game's opening stretch. By halftime, she had reached 19 points with the scoring pace, suggesting she was finding her rhythm after a difficult injury-shortened prior season. The supporting cast did not match that output. Kelsey Mitchell contributed 10 points on 4 of 12 from the field, with most of her production concentrated in a narrow window of the game.
Stephanie White coach team that in the second quarter, the opposing team comes out and wrecks shop. By the way, I don't consider this Dallas Wings team a very good team. I don't. I'm just keeping it real. But Aaliyah Boston didn't play, but Lexi Hull didn't play. It doesn't matter. You're trying to tell me with Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and Sophie Cunningham, we can't beat the damn Wings? So anyway,
Sophie Cunningham did not attempt a single field goal. Monique Billings and Jessica Timmerman were non-factors offensively. Diarika Hamby shot 2 of 11. Maisha Hines-Allen chipped in 7 points, making her the second most productive Fever player on the night.
Sophie Cunningham, we can't beat the damn Wings? So anyway, the Fever are running up and down the court. Caitlin is knocking them dead, right? During this game in the first quarter. Oh, boy. I mean, seriously. Let's get to the box score, and then we'll get to more specifics. Caitlin Clark, 21 points. 4 of 6 from the field. 2 of 3 from three-point range. 11 of 13 from the free throw line. 2 rebounds.
The inability of teammates to convert when Clark created opportunities was a recurring theme throughout the game. Passes that led directly to open looks were routinely squandered. Dallas outscored Indiana 61-46 at the half, turning a promising first quarter into a deficit by the break. A 13-2 run midway through the second quarter reflected the moment the game shifted. That run coincided with Clark's reduced involvement in the offense, and the Fever never fully recovered.
2 rebounds, 4 assists. Kelsey Mitchell showed up for about 6 minutes. 10 points, 4 of 12 from the field. And the rest of the team really, I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't. 1 of 5, Monique Billings. Jessica Timmons didn't show up. I mean, it was Demarius Dantas, 2 of 11. Forget about it. 95.
No definitive timeline was provided. Adding to the injury picture, Stephanie White acknowledged before the game that Justine Pennant would miss time with a lower leg injury, with no clear return date established. The accumulation of lower leg injuries across the roster prompted pointed reactions from the fan base, with many drawing comparisons to last season's situation. Paige Buchers had 20 points and 3 assists at halftime for Dallas, with Aziaha James contributing 12 points in the first half as well.
Forget about it. 95-80 is the final score here. Sophie didn't show up either, but she also didn't really take any shots. She did not take a single shot from the field in this game. Wow. So let's start with the scary right here.
Her second.
This
Team's
was
first.
the end result of a flagrant, and you see everybody went, oh shit. Are we doing this again?
The Wings controlled the tempo for most of the second and third quarters, with their defensive pressure disrupting Indiana's ability to establish any sustained offensive rhythm. Clark's movement toward the basket was a visible point of emphasis during her productive stretch. When she attacked the paint and drew contact, the results followed. The free throw line attempts reflected that aggression, and the conversion rate held up. The broader argument being made around her game is that consistent drives to the basket, combined with the three-point shooting that has already defined her professional career, creates a ceiling where a 2-3 point per game average becomes achievable.
Went, oh shit. Are we doing this again? Are we doing this again? Because Lord knows I don't trust the Fever to handle lower leg injuries. Tony East tweeted out, Caitlin got looked at after the foul on the three and is staying in the bench area, was just standing and watching, but has her jacket on again. And that was just about all she wrote for Caitlin Clark. Robin Lund.
None of that potential matters much, however, if the players around her cannot finish the opportunities her playmaking generates. The defensive performance, particularly from the second quarter onward, provided limited evidence of the structured, disciplined system the coaching staff has been building toward. A separate preseason game against the Liberty had shown the Fever's bench unit outperforming the starters, a data point that continues to generate discussion around rotations and lineup decisions.
Robin Lundberg tweeted out, good God, do we have to go gameless without Caitlin Clark? I know it's preseason, but we just went through this song and dance last year. We did, and it was painful. Cece looks fine walking around on the bench, but probably worth holding her out Saturday. God, I know it's preseason. Jesus, come on. I want to see Caitlin Clark just ball out. Look, the first quarter was a blast.
Overall, the game against Dallas was considered a poor showing from nearly everyone on the floor not named Caitlin Clark. The Indiana Fever and Dallas Wings are set to meet in a preseason matchup that carries more weight for one side than the other. Dallas enters with genuine motivation to perform, while Indiana has shown little urgency across its preseason schedule so far.
Dallas Wings went up 14 points. They went up 17 points with 6 minutes to go after Heinz Allen hit a three. And after that, it was just the Dallas Wings stinking it up and the Indiana Fever pulling it back to a 1 point game. And Kelsey Mitchell missed the game winner. Like, it is one of the crazy things ever. And not only that, I do remember when Paige missed the shot. Fever taking a timeout.
The stakes are low on paper, but the Wings appear to be treating this as an opportunity to establish something early. The history between these two franchises over the past calendar year adds some context. The last time they met late in the regular season, Dallas held a 1-7 point cushion with 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, only to completely collapse and allow Indiana to pull within one.
The shot. Fever taking a timeout when they really should have just ran in an open layup. I do remember that one. They really should have just ran in an open layup to win the game. But at the same time, it doesn't really matter. Because that was when we were like, oh, are the Fever at this stage, because the Fever were getting close to 500, it was like, oh, are the Fever trying to tank, get their way out of the playoffs? Clearly they weren't. But it was such a bad decision that's what ended up happening. But there has been only one game where Caitlin Clark has played Paige Beckers, and
Kelsey Mitchell missed what would have been the go-ahead basket at the end, and a defensive breakdown on a timeout call cost the Fever a likely game-winning layup on the other end. It was an unusual finish that left both sides with something to think about. The one-time Clark and Buchers shared a floor as opponents. The result was not particularly competitive.
Where Caitlin Clark has played Paige Beckers, and it was this game right here. The 13th of July one. Where the Indiana Fever were up 30 going into the fourth, and garbage time Beckers cooked them. Like, you see, the Indiana Fever are up. They're up 20. Well, they got back to 20. But, like, it was a near 30-point game at one stage. And then Paige, I just remember Paige absolutely just cooking.
Indiana was up close to 30 points heading into the fourth quarter, with Clark posting 5 steals and 13 assists across 24 minutes before being pulled entirely. Buchers put together a strong fourth quarter statistically, finishing with 21 points on efficient shooting, but the game had already been decided well before that stretch. The final box score flattered the comparison between the two.
It was a near 30-point game at one stage. And then Paige, I just remember Paige absolutely just cooking in the fourth quarter. Paige giving them the business to get to her 20 points. But yeah, this is a funny one. I remember at the end of this game where everyone was like, oh, look at the stats. Paige Becker shot 60% from the field. She had 21 points versus Caitlin Clark only having 14 points. It's like, dude, we all watched the game. Caitlin Clark stole the ball, 5 steals. Got 5 steals. Fucking
Dallas is coming into this game shorthanded. Awawak, Jess Shepard, and Arike are all unavailable, which removes a meaningful portion of their typical rotation. The expected starting group centers around Buchers, AZ, Segrist, Alana Smith, and possibly Grace Berger, who started in the previous Fever matchup and posted unremarkable numbers across the board.
5 steals. Got 5 steals, fucking 13 assists, and then basically got pulled. It was like she played 24 minutes. They pulled her. They won the game by so much. They played down to 16 minutes. But I will say, from this game right here, the one time they played against each other, this was a Caitlin Clark just masterclass. Absolute masterclass. Kelsey Mitchell running the floor, and Natasha Howard, 18 points on open layups. It was a demolition. And
the realistic expectation is that Indiana treats the first several minutes with some degree of seriousness before scaling back investment as the game progresses. Dallas, by contrast, has reason to come out with focus. Their preseason schedule also includes a matchup against the Aces, and this game against Indiana may actually be the one the Wings are prioritizing.
And as a whole for the game, I don't think we're going to see that type of intensity, especially from the Indiana Fever. I do feel like the Dallas Wings are going to come in and try to win this game. I personally do believe that. I think the Dallas Wings are going to try to win this game, whereas I don't necessarily think the Indiana Fever are. The Fever missing Aaliyah Boston. By the looks of things, I think the Dallas Wings are missing a whack, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're missing a whack. They're missing...
Establishing early that the roster can function cohesively and put together competent stretches of basketball matters more for a team with something to prove than it does for one rotating fringe players through exhibition minutes. The main individual storyline remains how Buchers and Clark look sharing the floor as opponents again, even in a reduced stakes context. With both teams missing key contributors and neither likely to push deep into the second half with full rotations, the early minutes offer the clearest look at where each player stands heading into the regular season.
I think they're missing a whack. They're missing Jess Shepard, maybe? Yeah, Jess Shepard still hasn't come back. They're missing a Rike, and they're missing a whack. So they are missing 3 of their kind of rotation. So my expectation is that they're probably going to start Paige, AZ, and Segrist. Paige, AZ, Segrist, Alana Smith, and fuck it, they might start Grace Berger. Like, that's the name I said. Did they start Grace Berger when they beat the Fever? They did, in fact, start Grace Berger, who was nearly a team high +7, which is hilarious. She was only 1 off being a team high in the game. Oh, no, sorry, that's the wrong player. She was nearly a team low -2. That makes more sense. I was like, she didn't have 20. No, she had a solid 2 of everything. But, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see what way the Dallas Wings show out. Like, how many minutes Paige plays.